I climb up off the cold white tiles with a sharp pain throbbing through my brain, and as I straighten up, rows of text flash through my vision. A system has been loaded into my head, telling me I have obtained a shelter, Doomsday Apartment Room 304, that a Doomsday Survival Novice gift pack has been deposited with me, that my talent ability has been drawn and is the D-Class Personnel Simulator, that I should check the system interface for further details, and that Doomsday Survival is officially commencing. What the hell is this? I think my thoughts a complete jumble, and I sort through the chaos as I open the system interface that seems to be wired directly into my consciousness. There are only 4 blocks in the interface: personal information, shelter information, trade, and communication, and I check them one by one with my mind, like turning the pages of a strange unbidden book. My personal information lists my name as a myope, my gender is male, my age is 24, my talent ability is the D-Class Personnel Simulator, and my remarks as none. And when I click into the talent ability, the description tells me that I can randomly simulate 1 D-Class personnel currently on a mission once per day, with a helpful little remark: why would anyone want to go look for death? Huh. I say to no one in particular, and then I open the shelter information, which lists my shelter level as elementary. My status is absolute safety for 7 days, and a remark telling me to please upgrade my shelter level within 7 days. So how do I upgrade it? I complain out loud: you should at least write down the upgrade requirements. The trade area already has several pages of trades cycling through it, but every single one is some pathetic exchange of trash for food and drink, not a single serious offer in the lot. The most active part of the interface, by far, is the communication block, divided into 3 sections: world, region, and friends. Messages can't actually be left in world even though there are over 10 billion people in there, so it stays eerily quiet, and I have no friends yet, so the friends section is empty too. Region shows 999,997 out of 1 million, and the chatter rolls past me in waves. How did 3 people die? Weren't the shelters supposed to be absolutely safe? They must have gone out on their own. There are weird things outside. I'm in an apartment. Where is this? Ha 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 ha. I've awakened a system from now on. I'm not eating beef. Idiot, everyone has a system. There are monsters outside, everyone don't go out. Bullshit, I've read these kinds of novels. Now is the golden time to find resources. Oh boy, another dozen or so just died. Idiot, if it weren't dangerous outside, they wouldn't have given you an absolutely safe shelter. Seems true, luckily I didn't go out. Damn, so you didn't go out. Is Lee Hong-wee there? I'm your dad? Do you all have talent abilities? As more and more people wake up, the information thickens until I have to slow the flow of it just to read at a comfortable pace. Most of the chat is just missing person notices, but very few people seem to know anyone in the same region as them, and I can't tell how the system filters the assignments. The whole region of 1 million people seems to be packed into one area. The shelters can't be far apart because I can hear noises through the walls from neighboring rooms, and there are strange footsteps in the hallway. Through the peephole, I can only see a portion of empty corridor, and outside the window, thick white mist is floating, with massive shadows passing occasionally through the fog. I open the Doomsday Survival Novice gift pack and find a 500 milliliters bottle of mineral water, a 1-pound bag of toast, and a kitchen knife with a 30-centimeter blade. The entire endowment of my new life. The shelter is only about 30 square meters. The door opens onto a sink and a stove. Opposite the sink is the bathroom with a flush toilet and a shower. The bedroom is divided off by a sliding door, and inside there is only a desk, a bed, and a window connecting me to the outside world. That is the shelter in its entirety. I turn the faucet, and nothing comes out. There isn't a drop of water in the bathroom either. The supply has clearly been cut off for a long time. The stove has no natural gas, the outlets carry no electricity, and while it'll be fine during the day, at night I'll probably have to rely on the system interface for illumination. Though since the interface is wired into my consciousness, I'm not even sure it'll light up the real world at all. What should I do, I think? With just this bit of food, I won't last more than a few days. I don't want to go outside to explore, because so far I haven't seen anyone in the region group return alive. And although there are quite a few voices in chat insisting there are good things outside and encouraging others to go scout, I haven't seen a single screenshot of the outside world to back any of it up. Lewd photos, on the other hand, are flooding through privately like nothing has changed. The region count slips to 999,845 out of 1 million, over 100 dead in less than 10 minutes. And even if there really are resources outside, I'm not planning on venturing out myself. Then I can only try the talent ability, I tell myself, scratching at my hair. Looking at the description, I always feel this isn't some serious talent ability at all, more like a suspicious recruitment ad. And amid the smooth buzzing rumble of a vehicle moving down a road, I wake up wearing an orange prison uniform, with 4 other prisoners in the back of the prison van dressed exactly the same. In the front half of the vehicle, sealed off behind a safety net, sit 4 fully armed security personnel. Damn it, I knew this would happen, I complain in my head. I've been sitting on the bed in my shelter, and the moment I activated the talent ability I was here. And the most terrifying thing of all is that the body I'm wearing isn't mine. It's the body of a robust white youth named Kenneth, with a system note that I have 10 remaining simulation attempts. What does 10 times even mean, I roar internally? Does the simulation just end after 10? Or do I actually die after 10? This ghost talent really is unreliable. I have no idea what D-class personnel are supposed to do, and I only have 10 chances for trial and error. Don't be nervous, the guy beside me says, patting my thigh and telling me being nervous is useless anyway, which is just about the worst comfort I've ever heard, and I push his hand off and ask what we're going to do. I know nothing, I can only risk being suspected by asking. Then I suddenly realize the language they're speaking isn't anything I should be familiar with, and yet I'm able to follow it perfectly, as if a translation software has been wedged into my brain. Who knows? The guy says. Even those guys outside with guns don't know what we're going to do, otherwise they wouldn't need us to scout the way for them. And he sighs and closes his eyes as if accepting his fate. I don't ask anything else. These companions clearly know about as much as I do. Not long after, the prison van stops outside a villa. The supervisors and D-class personnel get out in sequence, and the supervisor captain is a tall black man. Number 1, he calls. A D-class personnel steps forward, gets fitted with a communication helmet rigged for surveillance, and is sent into the villa alone. Several supervisors monitor the feed through laptop computers. 5 minutes pass before the captain says, "Number 2, and another nervous D-class personnel, his legs trembling visibly, also dons a helmet and disappears inside. A few more minutes go by, and number 3 is called, the guy beside me, and then with no warning at all, my vision blurs, and I am back in the prison van again to the buzzing of the wheels on asphalt, sitting next to the same guy who just walked into the villa. Remaining simulations, 9. I sigh deeply and ruffle my hair hard. I died once just now, apparently, and I didn't notice a thing. This is troublesome. The 2 who entered earlier are probably dead, but waiting outside isn't safe either. I can only go in and see what's going on." Just like the last simulation, Patient 1 and Patient 2 enter the villa in sequence, but this time when the captain calls Patient 3, I take a step forward, saying I can't take it anymore. Can I go in first? The captain glances at me, says nothing, and gestures for his team members to fit me with a helmet. "Can you give me a weapon for self-defense?" I ask. "You also hope I can last longer, right?" I'm hoping for a pistol. I've never used one, but firing a gun isn't difficult. But a team member silently pulls a dagger from his belt and hands it to me. I take it reluctantly. I know they wouldn't give me a gun, but there's no harm in trying. The villa has 2 floors. The entrance opens into a high domed hall. One side has a staircase leading up, and the hall connects out to several corridors. I move slowly along the wall, observing by moonlight. The helmet has a headlamp, but I don't dare turn it on. In deep night, a light would just make me a live target. "Go check the second corridor on the right." The captain's voice crackles in my earpiece. "Don't get close to the first corridor." Did he talk to the other D-class personnel before? A small doubt rises in my mind, but I don't disobey because I have nowhere better to go. As I pass the first corridor, I instinctively glance inside, and at the end of it hangs an orange object. My pupils contract. For the first time in my life, I feel that having too good eyesight isn't a good thing, because my D-class companion is hanging there, dissected and reassembled like building blocks. He maintains a humanoid shape, but on closer inspection has none of the features of a human, hung up like a piece of avant-garde art, and only the conspicuous fragments of orange prison uniform let me identify him at all. Holy crap. I'm startled. I take an unconscious step back, and behind me, where there should have been an empty hall, my back touches something. I spring sideways like I've been scalded, but my body doesn't obey, and at the last instant I see my own shattered body, and then the deafening sound of a violently beating heart fills the world again. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The prison van resumes around me. Even across the chasm of time, even knowing the thing back there can't pursue me, I cannot calm down. My body is intact again, moving freely, but in less than half an hour I'll have to face the thing that can dismember a body at a whim. Remaining simulations, 8. Damn, this is really... What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Still 8 times, what happens after that? Will I go back, or... An intense fear locks down my chest, and I can't sort my jumbled thoughts. I slap my own head hard and force myself to breathe. The first floor is very dangerous. There's a monster that can dismember people. The 2 who went in earlier have already been dismembered. Should I go directly to the second floor? No. Going in first might mean meeting the dismembering thing. 8 simulations left. I can try going to the second floor first. And if that doesn't work, I'll go in first. The prison van quickly stops in front of the villa for the 3rd time. And entering the villa for the 3rd time, I am already prepared to die. This time I'm still the 3rd to enter, and as before, the captain tells me to check the second corridor on the right, but I disobey and rush toward the staircase. As I'd guessed, the dismembering thing is active on the 1st floor, and I'm not harmed until I reach the 2nd floor living room. The staircase faces directly onto the living room. One wall is a row of floor-to-ceiling glass, and on the coffee table at the center sits a striking dark box. Although it's deeper than the night around it, it is somehow impossible to ignore. The lid slides horizontally and has been pushed 3/4 open, with only a quarter still covering the box. Unconsciously, I walk to the table. The box is an arm's-length cube, completely dark inside. Impossible to see what's within. Completely open the box, the captain's voice says into my ear, and your mission will be complete. Afterwards, you can shed your D-class identity and freely choose to leave or join the organization. I instinctively raise my hand, but a sense of incongruity stops me. Open the box. The first time I was outside, but I died suddenly. Quickly open the box. The captain didn't speak when patient 1 and 2 were exploring. Open the box, and all suffering will end, and you will receive your deserved reward. Can it really end? I slowly withdraw my right hand and turn my head. Outside the French windows, 4 pairs of eyes are staring at me. The captain and 3 team members, all impaled on black pillars, smiling as they watch me. In the distance, more black pillars are rising from the ground, all with people impaled on them. Number 4, open the box. The captain's emotionless voice insists. I don't hesitate. I turn and start to close it instead. The lid is so cold it reminds me of biting tap water in winter. And as I push it, I feel the heat in my body emptying out. Before I have pushed it halfway, I can't feel my body any longer. Some vital component of me is being completely consumed, and not long after I lose consciousness entirely. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wake from the nightmare again, the familiar guy beside me. Remaining simulations, 7. I sigh, and I think that if I could close that strange box, the simulation would end, but I can't close it on my own. The box was already 3/4 open. Was it opened by the 2 who went in before? No. The box was probably open first, causing the anomaly, which is why we were sent here in the first place. Closing the box requires some kind of energy. So what about opening it? Does opening it also require some kind of energy? Did those 2 D-class personnel and the captain passively provide the energy to open it? So if I went in first, would I be able to close it easily? Soon the prison van stops in front of the villa again. I don't waste words this time. I step forward and let the team member fit me with a helmet. No one objects. This is a suicide mission and no one refuses someone going first. The moment I step inside, I see a figure hanging upside down in the center of the hall, opening its eyes, blood-red pupils glowing faintly in the darkness. And the moment my eyes meet it, my body decomposes into small pieces, twists, turns, and reassembles from the center, finally settling into a brand new item. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Remaining simulation attempts, 6. I stare blankly at nothing. There was no actual pain, only a sense of distortion beyond the nervous system clinging to me, and for a long moment I cannot move a finger, until that sense of distortion drains away and I can think normally again. I cannot go in first. Going in first is certain death. I can only try going in second. If that doesn't work either, the prison van stops again. This time I wait for Agent 1 to enter, then step forward and request to enter second. Still no one stops me. I put on my helmet and wait for the captain's command, and a few minutes later he sends me in. This time the shadow is no longer in the center of the first floor hall, but I don't waste time looking around. I rush straight up the stairs. On the second floor, the black box is on the coffee table as before, but now the lid is pushed open less than a quarter. As expected, opening the box consumes life, and those ghastly things must have come out of it. I rush to the coffee table and try to close it. Wait, what are you doing? The captain's voice barks in my earpiece, but I ignore him. This might really be the captain's voice, or it might not, but it doesn't matter. The lid is still icy cold, although the heat isn't draining as quickly this time, and I gradually lose sensation in my body. Worse, something is approaching from behind. No sound, no other sensory cue, just the bare fact of it. My body begins to segment and twist, but fortunately I can barely feel it, and barely manages to push the lid shut. The instant the lid closes, all sensation vanishes. I fall to the ground and stare at the pitch-black ceiling, and consciousness leaves me entirely. Simulation ended, the system tells me. Remaining simulation attempt 6. Obtain 6 random items that appeared in this event. Obtain Deep Abyss box usage right ×1. Obtain title, Savior. I climb out of bed in the shelter and feel no discomfort at all, but when I look around the room, I feel completely unwell, because hanging upside down on the wall like a mural is an orange human reconstruction specimen, brazenly displaying itself. Holy crap, I gasp. You can actually follow me here? My back goes cold, but almost immediately I realize this must be one of the items rewarded to me by the simulator. Besides the mural, the other 5 items are arranged on the floor. A handgun loaded with bullets, a simple ration pack, a simple medical kit, a full set of military combat fatigues, and a dagger. The handgun is a model I've never seen before, with 10 rounds. The ration pack contains 5 energy bars and 2 cans of energy drinks. No ingredient list, no idea what they're made of. The medical kit holds 3 metal syringes labeled emergency treatment and lifesaver, plus a roll of bandages, a bottle of anti-inflammatory medicine, and a bottle of pain relievers. The combat fatigues fit well and are not heavy. The dagger is just an ordinary dagger, but it feels well made. I open the system panel and find 2 prompts inside. One for the Deep Abyss box usage right, and one for the title. Savior, your actions have saved an area, and your deeds have spread within the organization, with a note that unlocking more titles will improve a D-class personnel's treatment. Improved treatment, I scoff. Can't it just promote me to C-class instead? I prefer less challenging work. Deep Abyss box usage right. Can open the Deep Abyss box once without consumption and obtain 1 item from it, with a warning that the box is dangerous. Please do not open casually. This won't give me a monster, will it, I think? But I decide to use it now. The system says the shelter is absolutely safe, and my talent ability comes from the system, so whatever comes out of this box should not be able to break the system's rules. And the absolute safety only lasts 7 days, so it's best to use the box right now while I'm protected. A pitch-black box appears in the center of the shelter, looking exactly as it did in the simulation. The deep abyss box opens automatically, and a flood of bizarre things pours out, filling the entire shelter, and I feel for an instant like I have died countless times in countless ways, with all sorts of strange and grotesque things filling the room. Dangerous information detected in shelter, the system reports. Harmless processing in progress. Processing complete. Please make your choice quickly. Now the shelter looks like the basement out of some movie, filled with eerie items, bright white bottles of unknown material, toy animals covered in unidentified fur, a penguin with a single moving eye, a painting whose contents I cannot identify. Even my own body is covered in butterfly-like creatures, their aqua blue wings trembling slightly, ready to take flight at any moment. For a moment I have no idea how to choose. Every item is peculiar. Even a master appraiser could only take a wild guess. I'm not in a hurry, being anxious is useless, and since I can't understand any of it, I decide to pick something I like. First, I rule out anything that can move. If they can move after being neutralized, what were they like before? And if the neutralization is only temporary and the items recover after 7 days, that's a problem. It's best to choose something controllable. In the end, I pick a set of red cards. The material of the card box itself is unknown, and on the dark red surface is drawn a pale gold ring. Inside the box are 100 cards of unknown material, and no matter how many cards are drawn, the box automatically refills, while the drawn cards automatically disappear. I don't like gambling, but I do like playing cards. I know more than a dozen ways to play poker, which is why I choose this deck. Confirm, the system asks. Confirm, I say. The strange items in the room begin to disappear, including the card box I am holding. Some items are clearly unwilling to leave, but they're forcibly taken back by the system into the deep abyss box, and finally the box itself slowly vanishes, leaving nothing behind. Thorough neutralization in progress. The system reports, processing complete. Obtained abyssal relic card box. Please draw today's card. A card box appears out of thin air in front of me. I reach my hand inside and unconsciously shout out, "It's my turn. Draw." The card feels a bit like the skin of some creature. The back is engraved with complex patterns, and the front depicts a goose-like creature. The card dissipates, and a blood-red creature that looks like a large goose appears in my shelter. I stare at it. It stares at me. Big goose? Honk? Our eyes meet for a long time, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what use this goose has. As if sensing my confusion, the big goose elegantly raises a wing and pulls a steaming bowl of goose-leg rice out of the void, pushing it toward me. Can you conjure up anything else? I ask. Honk honk, no. Can I have another bowl? Honk honk, no. After a long conversation, I confirm that the big goose can only provide 1 serving of goose-leg rice, and refuses to answer anything unrelated to it. Is this what neutralization means? Isn't it a bit too harmless? I silently take a photo of the goose-leg rice and send it to the group, since I'm feeling miserable right now and I refuse to be the only one feeling that way. It is the first time I have spoken in chat. By now the group has quieted significantly. Many people are lurking, silently observing, considering what to do next, with private chats taking the heavier traffic, but my photo blows the lurkers out of hiding. Holy crap, goose-leg rice. My god system. Someone's cheating. Dude, where'd the goose-leg rice come from? Did you go out? It's still hot. Did you make it yourself? Big shot, please let me have a bite of that goose leg, I'm begging you. Hungry, need food. Is it for sale? Name your price. I reply, be jealous. I traded my talent for it, and I'm not lying. My talent obtained the deep abyss box. The box yielded the card box. The card box drew the big goose, and the big goose provided 1 serving of goose-leg rice. Seeing my message, others stop being so envious and start feeling sorry for me. Having a talent that only produces goose-leg rice is a bit too pathetic. What's your talent? Goose-leg talent. Truly terrifying. Impressive. Can you get me a bowl too? Please, big shot, trade for a few more bowls. Many people are still hungry. Has no one made it back alive after going out yet? Are all your talent abilities this hilarious? I tell them I can only get 1 a day, and I don't even know if I can get another 1 tomorrow. I eat my goose-leg rice while scrolling chat. Many people want to add me as a friend, but I don't bother replying. The time spent in the simulator seems to be synchronized with reality, but I have no idea whether my physical body remained in the shelter during the simulation. When I arrived here, I had only the clothes on my back, nothing else, and it seems to be the same for everyone. I finish the goose-leg rice quickly, and outside the window the sky is darkening. Just as I lie down on the bed for a nap, a prompt pops up. Night activities start. Tonight's activity is Labyrinth exploration. Join, and a 10-minute countdown ticking down. Are you guys participating in the night activity? Someone in chat asks, and the answers come back. Of course. I can't conjure up goose-leg rice and I don't dare go out. If I don't get food soon, I'll starve. I'll wait and see and join tomorrow. Good luck, everyone. I'm a loser. I'll wait until tomorrow. Good luck. Best wishes. Watching the chat, I'm already organizing my equipment, because I'm definitely participating in this night activity. First, I'm probably among the best equipped of all the survivors. And if even I can't survive, then considering the talent abilities I've seen, at least half of the people participating tonight will die. Second, I haven't found a way to upgrade the shelter yet. Perhaps it's in the night activity, and if I miss this chance, I might fall behind in upgrading. One slow step leads to every step being slow, and I'd be eliminated by the others, so I will not miss this opportunity. After putting on my gear, I sit by the bed watching the countdown in the chat, idly petting the goose. Big Goose rests quietly in my arms, occasionally preening its feathers with its beak. 0001. 0000. I rub my temples and climb up off a dark red floor. I am standing in the middle of a corridor, with doors irregularly arranged on both sides. Both the floor and the doors are dark red. The sharp headache fades and I draw the pistol tucked into my waist. The big goose hasn't been brought along, but my weapons and equipment are all here. The system tells me that for the first 3 days of the night activity, the probability of treasure chests appearing is increased, the probability of ranked creatures appearing is decreased, and the quality of chest drops is improved, and that the first treasure chest opened by a participant is guaranteed to contain a shelter upgrade blueprint. Night activity starts. A 2-hour countdown appears at the bottom of the system panel, and I assume the system will teleport us back to our shelters when it expires. I aim my pistol at the nearest door and knock gently. There is no sound inside. I push it open. The completely enclosed room has no living creatures and no windows. Only a floor full of trash. Empty beverage bottles, scraps of paper, broken stones, a dilapidated table. The bottles and paper are printed with characters I have never seen before but somehow understand, and I pick up some of the trash with text on it and stuff it into my pocket. Among the junk I find a dark red metal coin about the size of a 1 yuan piece but slightly heavier. One side engraved with complex patterns, the other featuring a blood red eye. I pocket the coin and leave. The corridor isn't long, only about 10 meters, but around the corner is another similar corridor whose 2 corners lead in different directions, one to the left and one to the right. I quickly pass several corners, finding more corridors of varying lengths, some ending in forks splitting into different directions. This is an endless labyrinth. If it can accommodate 10 billion people simultaneously, I can't even imagine how complex it must be, though it has little to do with me. I don't need to escape it, only to find some supplies I need in here. Half an hour later, I have explored 9 red rooms, finding only a few red coins, a red key, and some usable sundries. I haven't found the treasure chest mentioned in the system information at all. After exploring a few more rooms, I suddenly find a locked one. The door identical to the others except for an additional red lock that's so close in color to the wood I might have missed it if I weren't checking each room one by one. I knock on the door but there's still no movement inside. This place is a silent ruin. I look at the keyhole, then take out a wire I'd found in a pile of garbage and try to pick the lock. After a minute I still can't open it, so I use the red key which disappears once it works. Inside is the same size as other rooms, but instead of garbage there are shelves, a warehouse, and most of the shelves are empty, but I find a few remaining items. 2 bottles of red liquid in glass, sealed with caps, each about 400 milliliters, a metal pendant that's a silver cross of equal length and width, which can be worn around the neck, and 7 hard cards dark red on one side and engraved with intricate patterns on the other, the 7 cards showing 3 distinct designs in total. I put these items in the backpack I'd salvaged from the garbage earlier, and just as I shoulder it I hear footsteps from the end of the corridor, the opposite direction to the way I came. Fortunately it's quiet enough here that I detect the sound in time, and I gently close the door, leaving only a crack. Soon a figure passes by, a blood-red shriveled corpse, half its head gone, the remaining brain matter dry and somehow still propelling its movement. After it passes I calculate the distance, pull the door open and fire a single shot at what remains of its head. The gunshot echoes through the corridor and the bullet hits true, knocking the blood corpse to the ground. This is my first time firing a gun, yet I find myself extraordinarily familiar with the feeling, as if I had been shooting for years. I suppress the feeling and don't approach. The corpse has already lost half its head, and I'm not sure the other half is the vital spot. At first the corpse doesn't react, but 2 seconds later it begins to convulse violently like a patient in an epileptic seizure. Blood-red fleshy limbs grow from its back, supporting its body like spider legs, and its abdomen splits open, the shriveled flesh and organs bursting forth with new vitality, blossoming into new structures. I fire 3 rapid shots, chest, lower left abdomen, lower right abdomen, each a different part. Because I don't believe this monster has no weakness, I just haven't found it yet. The monster springs from the ground like a frog, bounces off the corridor ceiling, and covers 7 or 8 meters in 2 bursts of force toward me. I take a calm large step backward and empty my magazine into it as it pounces. What's needed at this distance isn't precision, it's firepower. After the magazine runs dry I drop the pistol, dodge the second pounce by anticipating its trajectory, and smoothly draw the dagger from my waist. But the second pounce doesn't arc properly. The monster tumbles, crashes into the end of the corridor, struggles for a while, and then stops moving entirely. Apparently it isn't immune to bullets either. I stand calmly in place, preventing it from playing dead. Throughout the entire encounter I have made no unnecessary movements and shown almost no emotional fluctuation, because compared to the simulator missions, a jumping corpse is still easy to deal with. After a few minutes I approach the corpse. It's lost its human shape entirely, only some scattered parts left to indicate it was ever human-like. I draw my dagger and dissect it, the various tissue structures jumbled and mixed together. At first I'm thinking about how this thing moved, but eventually I give up the question and start studying the strange tissue structures themselves. 10 minutes later I put the dagger away with satisfaction and move on. I find a key ring with 5 identical red keys on the body. These keys seem to be merely credentials for opening doors, with little to do with the locks themselves. After that I no longer open unlocked rooms, since most of them contain only garbage, and even when something turns up it's just 1 or 2 coins, while keys take 9 rooms each on average. I need to find a treasure chest as quickly as possible to learn the upgrade requirements. I move through corridors quickly, twirling the empty pistol as I go. When I fired earlier I was extraordinarily familiar with the gun, as if I'd used one for over a decade, and that's almost certainly the residual experience from simulating Kenneth. I'd never touched a pistol before in my life, so it's the only explanation for such skilled marksmanship. Kenneth was a D-class personnel after all, and there had to be a reason for it. He must have had a few unique skills. Soon I find another locked red room, knock without response, and use a key. The room's structure is identical to the others, but with no garbage. In the center of the room is a redwood box that isn't itself locked. I cautiously pry the lid open with my dagger and quickly retreat. Contrary to what I expect, there are no dangerous items inside, and no blood corpse jumps out either. The chest disappears after being opened, and inside it there are 3 items: a shelter upgrade blueprint, a hard card, and a bottle of red liquid. Do you want to use the shelter upgrade blueprint? The system asks. Use it. Please collect 10 mutated organs from unranked mutated creatures as materials for the shelter upgrade. 0 out of 10. Unranked mutated creatures, mutation organ I think, and I hurry back to the blood corpse I dissected earlier and cut off the most unusual part of it. Submit the mutation organ, the system asks. Yes, the abnormal piece disappears, and the upgrade quest now reads 1 out of 10. So killing 10 blood cores will upgrade the shelter. That's not bad. Though they're difficult to kill, ultimately they're just mutated corpses, and although I was unfamiliar with them before, next time I won't waste so many bullets. Still, dealing with a blood corpse with only a dagger is very dangerous, so I decide to use my talent ability tomorrow to get more bullets before I go looking for trouble with one. After getting the mutation organ, I keep looking for locked rooms. After more than 10 minutes of brisk walking, I find another, and this one still contains a redwood treasure chest, though when I open it, it's filled with bread and mineral water. The contents of the 2 chests are completely different. Perhaps chests come in different types containing different items. I put the food into my secondary backpack. There's still food in the shelter, but in this situation the more reserves the better. After walking a while I encounter a fork in the road that's a bit different from before. A straight corridor without any rooms. Its length stretching out of sight, still dark red. I draw my dagger and advance cautiously. After about 1,000 meters I finally reach the end, where there is a double-leaf door. It wouldn't be a boss behind the door, would it, I think, and push it open. Behind it is a square hall. The door I'm at is on one side. The opposite side has another red double-leaf door. On the left is a mahogany door, and on the right is a dark red metal door with a lock hanging on it. Approaching the wooden door, a prompt asks if I want to leave the red maze early. No, I say. There's no danger right now. Approaching the metal door, I receive another prompt. First contact with a special room. The door automatically unlocks. The lock disappears and the metal door swings open. Inside is an ordinary red room, but unlike the others, in the center stands a dark red platform with a glass bottle on it. The bottle filled with dark red liquid and an eyeball soaking inside. I pick it up and put it into my backpack, then carefully sweep the room again to make sure I haven't missed anything before leaving. Pushing open the double-leaf door opposite, behind it is an identical long corridor. I glance at the timer. 20 minutes left. I had been conserving my stamina in case of monsters, but now I can speed up. I run quickly through corridors, and with 5 minutes left I find another locked room. Inside is still a mahogany box, but this one contains several bottles of red liquid, several hard cards, and a red metal key that is clearly different from the standard red key. It should be a key for opening special rooms. I pack everything in and continue exploring nearby rooms. The countdown is nearly out, no time to find another locked room. Before it ends I find a few red coins in the garbage. Footsteps sound outside the door. But the countdown has already reached 0, and I am back in the shelter. The region count is now 994,759 out of 1 million. Over 2,000 people died in one exploration mission. After entering the red maze, the system's communication function couldn't be used, so the moment the activity ends, a flood of information slams into chat. Holy crap, I'm finally back. I was blocked in a room by a zombie for 2 hours. Damn it, I almost couldn't make it back. Good thing I ran fast. Did you find any treasure chests? I only found some red coins. I opened a box and got 2 bottles of unknown liquid, and the shelter upgrade blueprint. Ah, how do you upgrade the shelter? Can you share the blueprint? The blueprint is one of the upgrade materials. Everyone needs to get a copy of the blueprint to upgrade their level. So many people died, good thing I didn't go. Heh, only in the first 3 days are you guaranteed a blueprint from a chest. And after that the probability of chests appearing also drops. Ah, who knows where to get mutation organs. When chat lessons I post a picture I took with the system earlier of myself cutting out the mutation organ. Goose-leg bro, why aren't you posting goose legs anymore and now you're posting fresh produce pictures? Wait, isn't that a zombie big shot you killed one? Awesome. I don't even dare to go out and the big shot can already kill zombies. What's so hard about killing zombies? Give me a weapon, aim for the head. One shot, one kill. The one upstairs clearly didn't go. Is that the trashy zombie from movies? I usually work out and am considered strong among ordinary people. This damn zombie runs faster than me, is stronger than me, can't die even if its head is smashed, and can even deform. Thousands of people died because they encountered zombies. I was just lucky my talent is good, otherwise I wouldn't have made it back. Exactly. Although I didn't encounter zombies, those who dared to go all had some skills, and so many still died. These zombies must be very difficult. I tell them, everyone hold on, I'll send some relevant information. After I speak, the chat of nearly 1 million people gradually quiets, and not because my words are powerful, but because the information closely concerns their lives, and no one wants to die. I send the information I gathered in the maze in the simplest, most digestible form, so even people who aren't very smart can understand what to do next. And I add the caveat that I think the mutation organ is the vital point of a mutated creature, and I did indeed hit it in the end. But I also fired 10 shots, so the monster might just have died from being worn down by me. And to proceed with caution. Big Shot awesome. Thank you Big Shot for sharing the information. May good people have a peaceful life. Sigh. 10 blood course is too difficult. It feels hard to upgrade. No bro, where did you get a pistol? If I can exchange my talent for goose-leg rice, why can't I exchange my talent for a pistol? What kind of divine talent is this? I also want a talent that can exchange for goose-leg rice. I add to chat that I also got some bread and mineral water. The quantity is limited. If you need it, send me a private message. I'm trading for Red Maze products, highest bidder gets it. And that I don't know the value of those things yet, so they should decide for themselves. Whether to trade. Damn, I'm starving to death here and the big boss already has extra food to trade for things. No, if you have extra food, shouldn't you share it with those in need? Those who can trade with you definitely won't starve. I blacklist them on site. Once blacklisted, neither person can see the other's messages or trades, which is better for both sides. I don't have to see annoying messages. The other doesn't have to envy me. I'm not planning on trading with these kinds of people anyway. Out of sight, out of mind. I didn't post the information out of any Sather complex. I genuinely want to show other survivors a way to live. But I have my own goals too. Fame and fortune have always been inseparable. Once my reputation is established, everything I do afterward will be 3 times easier, or even more, and I don't need to do much. As long as I provide correct information in advance each time, the others will naturally and respectfully call me Goose-leg Bro. I lie on the bed checking private messages, skipping junk, looking for valuable trades. Big Goose lies beside me, its head rubbing my arm, a wing covering me like a blanket. I complete several transactions. The cards and liquids from those treasure chests will definitely be worth more than bread later. And I even feel that those items can only drop after the chest quality is upgraded, while bread and mineral water are normal output for wooden chests. Then in a private message, a survivor named Jangui sends me a piece of blueprint information. Unranked mutation weapon blueprint requires 1 to 5 mutation organs, with a note that more materials don't necessarily mean a stronger weapon. No one with a normal brain would trade a weapon blueprint for a few pieces of bread, and I feel he must have another purpose. What do you want to trade for, I ask. Big boss, it's really hard to contact you. I don't like wasting time. Big boss, we've established an organization called the Mutual Aid Society, full of experts with strong innate abilities. The chairman hopes you can join. I'll pass. Good luck to you all. Big boss, don't rush. With your ability, as long as you join the Mutual Aid Society, you can get at least 1 such blueprint every day. What do I need to give in return? Nothing much. You just need to provide information to the Mutual Aid Society like you did today. Unlike those ingrates in the group, the Mutual Aid Society will naturally reward you. You profit from my information and then give me a cut. You could say that. Have you ever thought that many people might die because of you? It's just normal give and take. Those who don't contribute shouldn't get information. That's the normal situation. You're right, I say. But you won't accept. You're right. I close the chat with Jangui and continue trading. I could do what he describes. I could create a similar organization, but I don't need to. The Mutual Aid Society has something, but its scope is too small. Since it calls itself a Mutual Aid Society, it ought to save all of humanity. That would be more interesting. Temporary gains and losses don't matter. The Mutual Aid Society can't give me what I really need. Elsewhere, in a private exchange I do not see, Jangui reports to his chairman that I refused. What a pity. The chairman replies, his name listed only as Wu Ming. His talent must be some kind of very strong early-stage talent. With his help, the Mutual Aid Society could help more people. Do I need to find a few people to discredit him? Jangui asks. say the information he provided was problematic. Anyway, many people haven't been to the Red Maze. No need, Wu Ming says. We also need him to provide information. Although we'll earn a little less this way, it's still more than what those lone wolves earn. And there's no need for us to offend him now. If something happens right after you send an invitation, anyone can guess it was us. You're right, Zhang Wei agrees. Have the people who went out to explore returned? Wu Ming asks. Most died as soon as they went out, Zhang Wei reports. The lucky ones could last a few more minutes. Do we need to keep looking for people to go out and explore? Never mind. Wu Ming says, it seems we can only collect materials from the Red Maze in the early stages. You're right. Please draw today's card. The system tells me when I wake from a dreamless night. My turn. Draw a card, I shout, getting out of bed excitedly to perform my daily ritual. The card depicts a cat, dissipates, and a blood-red cat elegantly appears in the center of my shelter. It lightly leaps onto the bed, turns onto its side and lies against my leg. I stroke its soft fur and feel for a moment that having such a pet is nice. I don't have to worry about anything. I just have to pet it every day, and I can change breeds every day. What can you give me, I ask. You're not going to give me a cat leg meal, are you? I've never eaten cat meat. Meow. A system prompt appears. Obtained card boost. Draw one item before each action. This item can only be used during this action and disappears after the action ends. Huh, did you do this? Meow. But what is an action? The cat only purrs lazily, showing no intention of answering. Like the big goose, it can only do simple interactions with me. I don't ask further. I pet it, eat something, and use my daily talent ability. Simulated D-class personnel, Larry. Drawing item. Obtained item abyssal egg. Remaining simulation attempts, 10. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I sit speechless in another prison van. Since coming here, I have to ride in a prison van every day, and back on Blue Star I'd only been to the police station a few times, and even then for documents like ID cards. Larry is a bronzed, muscular man around 50 years old, covered in solid muscle, and I feel I could now punch my weak former self to death. The abyssal egg has been placed by the system in my right pants pocket, about the size of a quail egg, feeling somewhat like a peeled cooked chicken egg. I squeeze it and find it very resilient, won't be crushed in my pocket. Things related to the abyss leave a very bad impression on me, and I have no idea how to use this. This time I have only 2 teammates, but there are still 4 supervisors. The other 2 D-class personnel look formidable, similar to Larry. Not long after, the prison van stops near a tunnel entrance. I exit the vehicle. The prisoner transport is still some distance from the tunnel, and the supervising personnel clearly don't want to get close, as if the tunnel would devour them. Number 1, you go first. The captain says, this captain a white man with a serious face who looks unapproachable. The other 2 D-class don't move, and unfortunately this time I'm number 1, so I can't have someone else scout for me. I step forward and let the supervising personnel put a helmet on me. Can you give me a weapon, I ask as usual. The supervisor glances at the captain, sees him nod, draws a dagger from his waist and hands it to me. I approach the tunnel with the dagger. It's a large semicircular 2-lane tunnel, 20 meters wide and 10 meters high, with 2 rows of overhead lights illuminating every corner. I keep to the right entering. There are no people or vehicles inside, the long passage stretching endlessly with no idea where it leads. After about half an hour I haven't encountered anything. No sound from the headset, and the tunnel occasionally bends but doesn't fork, so I can only go forward or turn back. The intensity is a bit low this time, I think idly. I've walked half an hour without encountering any monsters, and last time I had to restart several times within half an hour. Suddenly my vision goes dark, as if every overhead light has gone out at once. I stand still, pitch black, no ray of light, no sound but my own heartbeat and breathing. After waiting a while with no sign of the lights returning, I hesitate and take a step forward, and that step is like pressing a switch. The entire tunnel illuminates instantly. I squint, the environment changing so suddenly I need a moment to adjust, and just then I notice a dark shadow on the left side of the road, diagonally ahead. I sharpen my eyes and barely make out, in the blurry afterimage, a tall humanoid monster, body covered in writhing strips of flesh, limbs long and slender, waist and abdomen covered in bone spurs, a greenish-black tail growing from its back. I turn and run. I only have a dagger. I can't possibly defeat this, which looks very dangerous. Tunnel God, I was just thinking out loud, don't actually give me a bunch of monsters. The monster lets out a frantic roar and lunges like a starved wild dog, but my vision goes dark again only for an instant. The next moment the lights are on and the monster behind me has stopped. Huh, I turn my head, no monster behind me, everything that just happened seeming a hallucination. What the hell? If I weren't sure of my sanity and convinced something is wrong with this tunnel, I'd be wondering if I were going crazy. I hesitate, then turn back to the spot. This time the lights don't go out and there's no trace of any monster. Damn it! This is really spooky. I scratch my hair vigorously. This mission is even more troublesome than the last. I'm not sure whether to keep going or turn back immediately. Forget it. I'll go all the way in this simulation and see what happens. Anyway, I have 10 attempts. I keep walking. The tunnel is dead silent. Only my footsteps. Give me a cup of milk tea. No. Let me encounter a milk tea shop. Let me encounter a few monsters, preferably ones with sharp minds. Let me return to Blue Star and give me 100 million. I make wishes in my head as I walk, because the monster's earlier appearance was too convenient, making me suspect a wish-granting function. The wishes don't come true. After several more tens of minutes, the lights go out again. This time I don't stop. The darkness flashes and disappears. I stare diagonally ahead and silently think, the intensity is a bit low this time. Only one monster after an hour. Last time I had to restart several times within half an hour. Sure enough, a figure appears on the left side of the passage. But it isn't the monster I was imagining. It's one of the D-class personnel who came with me in the same vehicle. Why are you back? Is there anything up ahead? I ask. And at almost the same instant he says, how did you get ahead of me? We both speak simultaneously. I freeze for a moment but immediately realize the other person thinks I had turned back. But I hadn't. The tunnel has no forks. Unless the other started from the other end, they would have had to pass me to get ahead. Would the supervising personnel take him to the other end of the tunnel, I think? Is this some kind of experiment? Is he lying to me? Did he pass me when the lights went out? But what would be the point of him doing that? Is he really D-class? Could he be some kind of mimetic monster? What did you say? Jesse looks at me warily. What do you mean got ahead? Are you dizzy? His right hand reaching for his waist. I'm sorry. Didn't the lights go out earlier? I might have gone the wrong way. I quickly apologize. I don't want a conflict in this situation. I'm strong and the other isn't weak. A single mistake could waste a simulation attempt. Earlier? Wasn't that just now? You're hard to understand. Are you a foreigner? He says. But seeing my good attitude doesn't continue to draw his weapon, though he doesn't approach me either. Have you only encountered the lights going out once, I ask? I encountered it once before. Neither of us closes the distance. We both need a safe cushion. Oh, I see. Maybe it's different sections of the road. That was my first time encountering the lights going out. It was pitch black, couldn't see anything. I waited there a while and then the lights came on as soon as I took a step forward. Jesse complains. Me too. I scratch my hair vigorously. This place is even more troublesome than I thought. Perfect. Since you turned back, let's go back together. After all we've walked for so long with no end in sight and no sound from the headset, I've wanted to go back for a long time, but I was afraid of being shot by those bastards if I went back alone, Jesse says, licking his dry lips. Okay, let's go back together. They shouldn't kill us, at most make us walk again. I agree. After getting closer, I suddenly feel something is off. Jesse looks listless and is in worse shape than I am. Sigh. I've walked for so long I'm a bit hungry. Good thing I ate a lot before coming. He sighs. How long have you been in here? I ask. My vision goes dark and I hear his answer in my ear. Almost 3 hours. I'm really exhausted. I take a hurried step back, but Jesse has already vanished, just like that monster, leaving no trace. Damn it. I turn around and walk back. If that D-class personnel hadn't lied or been delusional, then the anomaly in this tunnel is likely related to time. I've never encountered anything that could alter time, but just imagining it makes my head hurt. No, I can't jump to conclusions. It might not be temporal. There are other possibilities. I walk back, not knowing how long, but it must be far longer than the time I spent going deeper. Ahead, there's still a long passage, and the entrance is gone. Oh boy, I'm screwed. I'm not going to be trapped here until I die, am I? I tear off some scraps of clothing and drop them on the ground as I keep moving, and after a while my vision goes dark again. Now experienced, I take a step forward and a figure appears diagonally ahead, the other D-class personnel. Why are you turning back? Patient number 3 looks at me strangely, feeling that the person in front of him is a bit off. Which number are you to enter? I don't answer, instead posing my own questions. How long have you been in here? I'm patient number 3. Of course I was the third to enter. As for how long, probably a few hours. I don't have a watch so I don't know. He watches me warily, the feeling he's getting from me very unsettling. I don't say much. I leave him behind and continue forward. Wait, can't you get out either? I changed directions a few times before but found I couldn't get out no matter what, and the marks I left earlier were gone. Why did the lights go out just now? Do you know how to get out? He calls after me, because although he doesn't have a good impression of me, I'm the first person he's encountered in this damn tunnel, and he doesn't want to be trapped. I ignore him, just keep walking forward, and when my vision goes dark, the other person vanishes. Heh, I knew it would be like this. I quicken my pace. I don't know if walking forward will do any good, but I can't commit suicide or wait to die, because even if I went through it again, I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know how much longer I walk. I keep moving mechanically. Strangely, I'm not tired at all, nor do I feel hungry or thirsty. What's going on? I feel a bit happy for some reason. I mutter to myself, my speed growing faster and faster. After a long time, the tunnel finally goes dark again. This time I don't pause. The darkness flashes and is gone. Looking diagonally ahead, I freeze. I see myself. Although the other person is wearing a helmet, through the body shape, skin color, and the familiar orange prison uniform, I am certain it is me. The other me turns and runs. I chase after him, shouting for him to stop, but my vision goes dark and that other me vanishes. I stand frozen. This scene seems somewhat familiar. I hurriedly look at my own body, wriggling strips of flesh, elongated limbs, a waist covered in bone spurs. At some point I have already turned into the monster. The monster I had seen before was myself. Abyssal egg. When was I affected? I didn't notice at all. As expected of an abyss item, just carrying it will turn you into this. I don't feel anxious about turning into a monster. This is just a simulation. What's important now is to figure out how to get out. Everything else is irrelevant. Time loop, but how exactly does it loop? Is it related to direction? Is it related to the number of people? Will this place collapse if I kill those 2D class personnel? Should I commit suicide and report the situation here directly to the captain? As soon as that thought emerges, I dismiss it, unless the simulation count resets to 0. I won't risk reporting directly to the captain, because firstly, my talent ability is the D-class personnel simulator, and if I don't resolve the anomaly, I might not be able to return at all. And secondly, I am full of wariness toward the so-called organization. It is an organization that constantly uses human lives to deal with anomalous events. I can't imagine its methods. And once I attract its attention, the consequences would be unpredictable. In the worst case, I could be trapped in the simulation by the organization, unable to return. I'm not yet clear on the state of my own body's existence. If I'm just lying on a bed in the shelter, in a few days I would die of thirst there. So I have to rely on myself to resolve the tunnel's anomaly. While thinking, my steps don't stop. After turning into a monster, my physical fitness is terrifyingly strong. I feel no fatigue at all. Before I can figure out the principle of the loop, the tunnel goes dark again. How could it be so fast, I think? I take a step forward and the lights come on, and a monster stands diagonally opposite. His body is even more robust than mine, covered in twisted mutation organs, far more terrifying than my current form. This time I don't run. I know very well that the monster in front of me is me from the next loop. The two monsters approach each other in the middle of the passage. I want to say hello, but only let out a strange roar. The next loop me has already considered this. He tears off a strip of flesh, a large amount of dark red liquid spilling onto the ground, and uses the bloody strip to write on the floor. The monster's fingers are twisted and grotesque. He can only barely grip the strip and writes deformed characters like he's drawing them. Kill me quickly. This is the last chance. I can't hold on much longer. Miss this chance and you cannot perform the next simulation. After barely managing to write all this, the next loop me forcefully tears open his own chest, exposing his vital organs. I don't hesitate at all. I plunge my forelimb into his chest and thoroughly mangle his vital organs. I trust myself, and the other has written the information about the simulation. Regardless, killing him will allow me to start the next simulation. Afterwards, I deliver a few more blows, and only after confirming that I have thoroughly killed myself do I leave the corpse. Just as I'm about to continue forward, I notice some scars on the corpse's skin. Perhaps the monster's regenerative ability is so strong these scars have already healed, but they still left marks. 3 mathematical symbols representing positive infinity, intersecting to form a bizarre symbol. I don't understand what he was trying to convey for a moment. Could it be that this path is endless? Even so, there is no need to draw 3 infinities. One would be enough to convey despair. But very quickly I realize they aren't 3 infinities at all. They're 3 Mobius strips. No one understands me better than myself, so I quickly catch up with his thoughts. A Mobius strip is a topological structure with a kind of infinite loop, and I don't actually understand the structure deeply, so he was probably just feeling that the situation resembled it. 3 Mobius strips represent 3D class personnel, so we didn't enter the same tunnel. The loops simply have contact points with each other. I think of that inexplicable light-off phenomenon. Perhaps it's a special phenomenon caused by the intersection of 2 Mobius strips. If I don't move forward, the light will always be off, and as soon as I take one step, the light will immediately illuminate the tunnel, and at the moment it does, I will inevitably meet the person on the other loop. If I don't move forward, I will never meet. I glance at my feet. So are we walking on a loop of time? As long as I don't move forward, I will always be at a certain point in time, so the light is always off. And as soon as I move forward, I leave the intersection and the person disappears. So direction has no meaning. All I can choose is to stay or move forward. I just came in not long ago and encountered myself, who had turned into a monster and completed the first cycle. 3 loops intersect. Each loop has an intersection point with the other. 2 loops, the number 2 and number 3 I encountered before, were not the number 2 and number 3 behind me, but the number 2 and number 3 who had looped back were about to complete a full circle and hadn't yet met themselves. But why did the next me want me to kill him? Why not cycle a few more rounds? Shouldn't we be looking for a way to break the cycle? Going back now is just starting over. Has he already found a way to break the cycle but didn't tell me? No, that's wrong. He wouldn't possibly not mention such an important matter at all. He only left the Mobius strip as a hint, indicating that he hadn't thought of a way to break the cycle. Then why the rush to get out? Last chance. Can't hold on. Can't perform next simulation. Is there anything that can prevent me from performing the next simulation? Is there anything that can make it so I can't even commit suicide? Abyssal egg. The abyssal egg causes mutation of the body. If the mutation continues, I'll lose control, to the point where I can't even kill myself. The out-of-control monster will keep cycling, and I'll be trapped here forever. But won't the monster kill its cycling self? No, that's wrong. Each cycle the monster will strengthen. If I don't cooperate, I won't be able to kill the next cycling self. And I can't kill me, because without me I wouldn't exist. Then if I find a way for him to kill me, will it end the cycle? No, that's too risky. My understanding of time is too shallow. Random attempts could trigger unknown risks. There are still rules here now. Once a time paradox is triggered, I might be completely lost in the time tunnel. My steps don't stop. The severe physical mutation has begun affecting my mental state. It's as if someone is whispering in my ear, inaudible, yet ceaseless. Occasionally, light and shadow flash in my field of vision, but on closer inspection I see nothing. If this continues, it won't be long before I become a true madman. Forget it, don't think so much. The cycle will be left to the next simulated self to solve. Now I just need to walk toward the predetermined ending. I relaxed my body and checked my condition as I walk, suddenly discovering that I seem to have far fewer alienated organs than the next cycle me. Did they alienate later, but why did they all grow on the body surface? Something's wrong. The blood corpse's alienated organs are inside the body. Is it because of the special nature of the abyssal egg? But what kind of creature would grow its vital points on its body surface? It's not an ornament. Ah, did I catalyze them myself? But why would I catalyze alienated organs on my body surface? For suicide. That's right, alienated creatures have exceptionally tenacious vitality. If I don't think of a way, I might not be able to kill myself at all. So I still have to move the alienated organs that will grow next to the surface of my body. I begin to study my body. Only after I start studying it do I realize that after turning into a monster, I seem to have gained a sensory ability distinct from the five senses. This sensory ability is exceptionally powerful. Without using my eyes, I can perceive my surroundings and even directly perceive the conditions inside my body. Relying on it, I begin to study and influence my mutation process. After an unknown amount of time, I finally encountered my last cycle self again. On the way, I separately encountered number 2 and number 3 once more, and this time when they saw me, they turned and ran, because I had become too terrifying. After encountering myself, I reenact the previous meeting scene according to the script. Alienated organs growing on the body surface, the traces of the Mobius strip, the blood writing prying open my chest, waiting for death. The process is very smooth. After all, this is the predetermined ending. By this point, I am already somewhat unable to control myself. The abyssal egg has its own consciousness, and I cannot commit suicide by bypassing the abyss consciousness. Prying open my chest is already my limit. On the way, I had concentrated all my energy in my heart, catalyzing a deformed yet powerful alienated heart. Without a doubt, this heart is my vital point. Through this simulation, my understanding of alienated creatures and alienated organs deepens by several levels. I even begin to consider whether to try mutation of my main body. I don't want to become a monster, but I covet the strength of alienated creatures. The human body has its limits. No matter how much you train or practice, you can only infinitely approach that limit and cannot break through, no matter how hard you try, and mutation is the key to breaking limits. Actually, the word mutation isn't entirely accurate. This is a kind of evolution at the life level. It's just that it requires precise control of the dosage. Once a certain limit is exceeded, it will alienate into a monster. And alienating into a monster not only deforms the body, but also has a significant impact on the mind. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I open my eyes. I am sitting in the familiar prison van with number 2D class personnel opposite me. Remaining simulation attempts 9. There are still 9 simulation attempts left, I think. If it weren't for fear of my main body having an accident if the time was too long. Perhaps I should simulate a few more times here and carefully study the mutation process. I suddenly realized that the powerful aspect of my innate ability isn't being able to acquire supplies, but being able to experience anomalous events to gain experience and research mutation using a simulated body. I am the first to enter the tunnel again. Unlike the previous simulated mission, the order of entering matters little to whether the incident can be resolved, and communicating with the captain or letting patient number 3 go in first might cause unknown trouble. I could try, but there's no need. I do nothing that would affect the future direction. This time I don't want to greatly change the outcome of the last simulation. I only want to be calmly killed by myself. The time loop is very dangerous. If I act recklessly relying on the simulation count, it's very likely to lead to a situation where I can't even commit suicide. I want to use the time of one simulation to think about how to safely end the time loop. I do not throw away the abyssal egg. This thing is troublesome. Throwing it away might lead to unpredictable consequences, and keeping it leads to my mutation. Without the abyssal egg, I could always communicate with my future self in the next loop, and each simulation would give me more time to think. But without it, I also couldn't deeply understand the mutation process, so it's hard to say which is better. This time I silently observed my body's state while moving, to prevent turning into a monster without realizing. Perhaps because of the perception, this time I can clearly sense the abyssal egg affecting me. After about half an hour, my vision goes black. I take a step forward and my monster self appears diagonally opposite. I approach. Just as I'm about to speak, the monster me suddenly speaks. It's okay, this time I controlled the mutation process and retained the ability to speak, but I probably won't be able to speak in the next loop. His voice hoarse and a bit off key, but easier than communicating by writing in blood. Let's get to the point, we don't have much time. Have you found a way to stop a loop? This is the first time I've spoken to myself, and it feels a bit strange. Don't rush. The monster me looks calm. We are standing at a certain point in time. As long as we don't move forward, we have infinite time. What are you talking about? I retort. Our bodies are still in the shelter. Can you be sure that the time here is synchronized with the shelter? What if the simulation time is cumulative? I'm afraid that when I go back, I'll find myself starved to death. I feel a bit strange. Myself shouldn't be unable to think of such a simple thing. The monster me's composure slowly drains away, as if he's only now realizing the problem. I probably can't help you anymore. The simulation failed. Kill me. I do not rush to act. I want to understand what's wrong. What's going on? The abyss is more terrifying than I imagined. As my understanding of the abyss deepens, the influence of the abyss consciousness on me will also deepen. I am already trapped. You must kill me. You cannot enter the next loop. He tears open his body and hands me the dagger from his waist. Don't rush. We still have time. Just as you said, we are standing at a point in time, and the influence of the abyss consciousness on you will not deepen. I look at him, wondering whether the other is acting, or has truly forgotten. Because time formed a loop, since the loop has already begun. I should have experienced such a conversation once. Only then I was in his position. No, the abyss is not that simple, he says. Time and space cannot block the influence of the abyss. Walking on the edge of the abyss. No, I am already deep within it. He shows a strange smile, spreads his arms and lets his body fall backward to the ground as if in free fall. Blood gushes from his chest, splattering all over me. I do not dodge. Instead, I quickly step forward and deliver a few more stabs, completely killing him. The other seemed to be reminding me of some information, but I completely failed to understand what he wanted to express, so I can only continue walking forward. As I walk, I sense the mutation of my body. Under the influence of the abyssal egg, a large amount of free-floating energy in the air surges into me. In this situation, I can only affect the alienated parts, making it difficult to slow mutation, and there's no way to attempt moderate mutation. Amid the infiltration of the free energy, my heart is the first to undergo mutation, gradually forming my first alienated organ. The moment the alienated heart forms, I perceive a broader world. That is an abyss without bottom or end. It is emptiness. It is the world. It is everything. I stand at the edge of the abyss, looking into its depths. I seem to see a lot, yet also seem to see nothing at all. What are you talking about, I hear? Our bodies are still in the shelter. Coming back to my senses, I find myself standing in front of myself. I probably can't help you anymore. This simulation failed. Kill me. The me opposite does not act, but instead asks, what's going on? The abyss is more terrifying than I imagined, I say, as my understanding of the abyss deepens, the influence of the abyss consciousness on me will also deepen. I am already trapped. You must kill me, you cannot enter the next loop. I tear open my body, revealing my alienated heart, and hand the dagger from my waist to the other me. Don't rush. We still have time. The me in front of me says, just as you said, we are standing at a point in time and the influence of the abyss consciousness on you will not deepen. No, the abyss is not that simple. I say time and space cannot block the influence of the abyss. Walking on the edge of the abyss. No, I am already deep within it. I show a strange smile. I finally understand how to leave here, so I spread my arms and let my body fall backward to the ground as if in free fall. Blood gushes from my chest, splattering all over the me opposite. The corpse falls to the ground, and I plunge into the abyss. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I open my eyes. I am sitting in a familiar spot, with patient number 3D class personnel beside me. Remaining simulations, 8. The simulation didn't end. Do I have to leave the tunnel alive, or do I have to resolve the anomaly? Never mind, it's all about the same. I already know how to deal with this tunnel. I just need to connect the abyss and the tunnel, and the abyss will solve all my problems. Actually, I had already resolved the tunnel loop in the previous simulation, but perhaps because I was already dead, then a new simulation began. This time I just need to come out alive. Just give Crook everything to the Crook abyss and it will be fine. I show a strange smile. I enter the tunnel again. This time I don't need to walk far. I can arrive in half an hour. I walk through the tunnel with a look of fanaticism, a frenzy that spreads like a virus throughout my body, raising my overall body temperature by 2 degrees. The high fever ignites my sanity, burning away the last remnants of reason. Mad thoughts occupy my brain. If I didn't still have a mission to complete, I would want to cut off my own head right now just to see what it felt like. Finally, I step into the darkness. This time I don't leave. Instead, I take out the abyssal egg and hold it over my head. At the same time, in the darkness on the other side, another me also holds a fragmented abyssal egg over his head, and in the other 2 cycles, the fragmented abyssal egg grows in the darkness, gradually taking shape. The ritual begins. The abyss connects to the tunnel, and the entire tunnel plunges into the abyss. I also want to fall into that void to experience an endless descent, but the anomaly has disappeared, the mission is complete, and some kind of power forcibly pulls me back to the ground. Walking out of the tunnel, everything ends. Simulation ended. Remaining simulation count, 8. Obtained random items appearing in this event, times 8. Obtained time rule fragment, times 1. Obtained title, plunged into the abyss. Abyss residue detected in shelter. Processing. Processing complete. Obtained gate of the abyss. I wake in my bed, not fully conscious, feeling as if I have just had a long dream and can't immediately distinguish where I am. A red cat jumps onto my lap and rubs its head against my stomach. I'm in the shelter. The mission is over. After another half minute, I finally figure out the situation, and recalling the memories from the simulation, I involuntarily shiver. For me, that feeling of complete loss of control was terrifying. If the shelter weren't absolutely safe, I would probably still be in that state. Forget it. I won't think about it anymore. Since things have come to this, let's see what I gained. I glance at the extra dark door that has appeared on the room wall, pretending it doesn't exist. My luck this time was good. It was hard to die in the tunnel, and with 8 remaining simulation counts, I obtained a total of 8 items. The 8 are laid out on the floor: a handgun loaded with bullets, a simple ration pack, a simple medical kit, 4 familiar-looking mutated organs, and a dark quail egg-sized oval object. I open the system and submit the 4 organs to the shelter advancement mission, bringing the progress to 5 out of 10. I categorize the other items and place them in the corner of the room, alongside my previous acquisitions. I place the abyssal egg outside the sliding door. Although it is no longer dangerous, I still don't want to share a room with that thing. There are 3 notifications on the system interface: the time rule fragment, the gate of the abyss, and my new title. And I check them one by one. The time rule fragment can be integrated into a talent ability to add new effects, with a note that it is a precious fragment with special functions, highly compatible with my talent ability, and a prompt asking if I wish to integrate it. Yes, I say. I check personal information again and find my talent ability has changed. D-Class Personnel Simulator can randomly simulate a D-Class personnel currently on a mission every day. Upon death, time is reversed, allowing for 1 reality simulation, 1 out of 1, with a note: why would anyone want to seek death? Holy crap, I think. Happiness has arrived too suddenly. The new effect added by the time rule fragment is even stronger than the talent ability itself. Although it can only be used once, that's enough for me. This is a safety net. Even if I die, as long as it isn't a certain death situation, I can return alive through simulation. Moreover, if I find new time rule fragments, I might be able to increase the number of uses. I click on the new title: Plunged into the Abyss. You once plunged into the abyss and escaped with the help of external forces, with a note that I have attracted the attention of certain entities in the abyss. I have nothing to say to that. Then the gate of the abyss, a passage connected to the abyss. Opening it allows me to invite certain abyss dwellers to be guests in my shelter, with a note that if I can prepare things they are interested in, they will give me satisfactory rewards. I look at the dark door and decide not to touch it for now. The shelter is indeed absolutely safe, but what if those so-called abyss dwellers decide not to leave? I know absolute safety only lasts 7 days, and after 7 days I would be the one suffering. I check the time. The simulation only took a few hours, and it isn't noon yet. Outside the window, the fog still obscures everything, and there are occasional noises outside the door, but I can't see anything through the peephole. I take out an energy bar and a bottle of mineral water, open the communication interface, and start eating lunch. As soon as I open the interface, I see a flood of messages with pictures, and at first I think they're explicit photos, but on closer look, they're pictures of bodily mutation. How's my Chilin arm? I feel like I could punch a blood corpse to death right now. The Vajra leg is stronger. I kick 2 zombies to death with 1 strike. Fellow big shots, does anyone have extra alienation cards? I'll trade food for them. Seeking arm card. Trading leg card. Who has red liquid? Buying at a high price. Where's goose-leg, bro? Have you undergone mutation? Do you have an alienation guide? I alienated my internal organs. What use is this? Damn, a rare card, though I don't know what it's for. You could try cutting it open. Big brothers, I'm a student, seeking an alienation card, preferably for limb mutation. Did the guy above alienate his brain? Why isn't it dark yet? My Vajra leg is already raring to go. The chat is full of alienation cards. I scroll up and quickly find the cause. A survivor accidentally used the dark red card and the card alienated his right arm, and he was terrified and sought help in the group. But this instead triggered an alienation craze. The method for using an alienation card is very simple. Just stick the card to the skin. After a few minutes, the card integrates into the skin and mutation automatically occurs. Cards have different patterns. Cards with different patterns result in different alienated body parts. And currently the most popular are cards for arms and legs, which happen also to be the most numerous. Mutation, however, requires consuming a large amount of matter and energy. The original survivor ate everything edible in his shelter to no avail, finally completing the mutation only after drinking a bottle of red liquid. I look at chat, utterly bewildered. These people are truly daring. I don't even dare to alienate my own body casually. Is this what they call ignorance is bliss? I don't post about the dangers of mutation in the group. I simply reply, I haven't alienated. It feels quite dangerous, and I'm a bit scared. The reason I don't publicize the dangers is that I myself only have a superficial understanding, and I won't say much about things I don't deeply understand. Since the system allowed them to obtain mutation cards, it means using them is also a part of survival, and this is not something I can interfere with.